Hello everyone and welcome to my final book haul for March. Some of these, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just have 14 books to tell you about in this video. Half of these books I got from Barnes & Noble. So let's go ahead and delve into the ones from Barnes & Noble first. This first one is called The Summer Book Club by Susan Mallery. This will be a new to me author. I was just drawn in by the beautiful like sunset on this cover, just the beautiful hues of pink. She's sitting on some kind of pier or dock, looks like, but I don't know, I was just drawn in by this cover. So I'm hoping the inside of the story is as beautiful as the cover of the book, so as the outside of the book. So we shall see. It says, the rules of Summer Book Club are simple. No sad books, no pressure, yes, wine. Besties Laurel and Paris are excited to welcome Cassie to the group. This year, the book club is all about fill your heart reads and escape from the chaos of everyday running a business, raising a family, juggling 100 to-dos. Even the dog is demanding, but the bestest boy. Since Laurel's divorce, she feels like the worst mom ever. Her skepticism of men may have scarred her vulnerable daughters. Cassie has an unfortunate habit of falling for ridiculous man boys who dump her once she fixes them. Paris knows good men exist, and she's still reeling after chasing off the only one brave enough and foolish enough to marry her. It says this is inspired by the heroines who risk everything for fulfillment. Laurel, Paris, and Cassie begin to take chances, big chances in life, in love. Facing an unwritten chapter can be terrifying, but it can be exhilarating too, if only they can find the courage to change. So it sounds like it'll be 3 POVs. So, yeah. Now this next one, I've read from this author before, and I liked the writing. And so I wanted another book from this author. This starts another series by this author, but this one is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So, oh, there's Under the Desk Jacket. That's cool. I did not realize that was there. Didn't even look. A maiden, chosen from birth to usher in a new era. Poppy's life has never been her own. The life of the maiden is solitary, never to be touched, never to be looked upon, never to be spoken to, never to experience pleasure. Waiting for the day of her ascension, she would rather be with the guards, fighting back the evil that took her family, than preparing to be found worthy by the gods. But the choice has never been hers. A duty. The entire kingdom's future rests upon Poppy's shoulders. Something she's not quite sure she wants for herself, because a maiden has a heart and a soul and a longing. And when Hawkeye, a golden-eyed guard, honor-bound to ensure her ascension, enters her life, destiny and duty become tangled with desire and need. He incites her anger, makes her question everything she believes in, and tempts her with the forbidden. A kingdom. Forsaken by the gods and feared by mortals, a fallen kingdom is rising once more, determined to take back what they believe is theirs through violence and vengeance. And as the shadow of those cursed draws closer, the line between what is forbidden and what is right becomes blurred. Poppy is not only on the verge of losing her heart and being found unworthy by the gods, but also her life, when every blood-soaked thread that holds her world together begins to unravel. Next, I have Bared to You by Sylvia Day. And I did check before I purchased to make sure that these were either standalones or first in a series. I don't remember which ones are standalones and which ones are series, but it's one of the two. Gideon Cross came into my life like lightning in the darkness. He was beautiful and brilliant, jagged and white hot. I was drawn to him as I'd never been to anything or anyone in my life. I craved his touch like a drug, even knowing it would weaken me. I was flawed and damaged, and he opened those cracks in me so easily. Gideon knew. He had demons of his own, and he would become the mirrors that reflected each other's, and we would become the mirrors that reflected each other's most private wounds and desires. The bonds of his love transformed me, even as I prayed that the torment of our pasts didn't tear us apart. Next I really like this cover, Torn by Karen Cole. At least I'm guessing that's how the name is said. I could be wrong on that. When I was 5 years old, I told Torrin Grace we were going to get married someday. He'd been my closest friend, my protector, and my rock since the day I was born. But during my senior year, our relationship slowly changed. Silly conversations morphed into serious heart-to-hearts. Innocent friendships turned to stolen glances. Then one day, an unexpected kiss changed everything. Well, that kiss was all I'd ever dreamed of. It tore clear off his axis. His strong moral compass makes it impossible for him to accept our feelings for each other, because not only am I 18 and 15 years younger than him, I'm the one person he should never ever want. Tor is my father's best friend, my pseudo-uncle. Neither one of us can stand to betray or hurt my dad, but we can't keep our relationship hidden forever. Will there be a way for us to find our happily ever after, or will we all be torn apart? Next, I have Say You Swear by Meagan Brandy. This does say this is first in the Loves Last Forever. Oh wait, no. It says they say first love lasts forever. I hope they're wrong. So maybe it's a standalone? I don't know. Anyway, Say You Swear. Boy, I sure read that wrong. I do like the cover. Her brother's best friend broke her heart, but what happens when his new teammate wants to put it back together? Ariana Johnson has been dreaming of what college life must bring, and it's finally coming over the horizon, and she and her friends plan one last beachside summer together. So much has changed over the years, but there's always been one constant. The boy her heart returns to no matter where her imagination runs, her brother's best friend, Chase. This is the summer she'll finally tell him how she feels. That it's him. It's always been him. Until suddenly it isn't. Ari's heart is in splinters when she meets star quarterback Noah Riley. His friendship is exactly what she needs after Chase's rejection. But from the start, Noah wants more. Even when their path is blurry, and when tragedy strikes, even when Ari doesn't know her own heart, Noah fights for the feelings he knows they both have, no matter what it might cost them. They say love lasts forever. They say first love lasts forever. Ari is about to find out if that's really true. Now the tagline on the front makes sense. So far the only new to me author out of the ones from Barnes & Noble is Jennifer, or the only one that's not new to me is the Jennifer L. Armentrout one. Everything else is new. Okay, next up I have, this is book 1 in the Madison Kate series, and this is Hate by Tate James. That is one bright neon green. Let's see. Madison Kate Danvers was murdered tonight. Those words changed my life, and not for the better. They were wrong, of course. I wasn't dead, but I was set up. After being framed for a deadly riot, charged with a string of offenses, and being made into an example by my politically minded father, I'm eventually released back into Shadow Grove. I could keep my head down, but I only have one thing on my mind. Hate. The boys who framed me are going to pay for derailing my carefully laid out future. They are going to catch the full force of my revenge. Except when I arrive back in town, thanks to my father's shiny new girlfriend, I find all 3 of them living in my house, right down the hall. Archer, Kodak, and Steele are secretive, untrustworthy, dangerous, and dangerously magnetic too. But I'm not falling for their games, not after what they did to me. Archer Doth and his boys messed with the wrong chick, and they're about to learn just how cold Madison Kate's hatred can run. So this sounds like a female vengeance story. I haven't read much female vengeance, female revenge, but I have liked what I have read. The last one from Barnes & Noble is book 1 in a series. It is Stay a Spell is the name of the series, and that is Wolf Gone Wild. What's the worst thing that can happen to a werewolf? Unable to shift into his wolf form for 3 months, Mateo Cruz knows all too well. His wolf alter ego has taken up residence in his head, taunting him night and day with vividly violent and carnal thoughts. Convinced he's been cursed, he seeks the help of a powerful witch to undo it, before he literally goes insane. Evie Savoy has always obeyed the house rules of our coven. No werewolves. They're known for being moody and volatile. So, when a quick-tempered werewolf strolls into the bar and almost strangles one of her late-night customers, she's ready to bounce him. But her heart softens when she sees the desperation in his eyes as he begs for her help. Maybe she can bend the rules just this once. What Evie doesn't know is that Mateo's wolf has a mind of his own, and now that she's in his sights, he only wants one thing, her. So a paranormal romance. Okay, this next one I found just scrolling through Instagram, and this is a short one. This is 126 pages, so this is a novella. And I loved the cover of this one. And this is book number 1 in the Cursed Captors series. And it is Wicked is the Reaper by Nisha J. Tuli. It's the day of the hunt, and I've always known it would decide my future. The man who brings the largest stag to the feet of my father will win my hand in marriage. My oldest friend and the greatest hunter in Aetherius is favored to win, and we've planned our entire lives together. That is, until the Reaper, the monster who hunts the trees, arrives with the largest stag in the forest and claims me as his own. This next one is book number 1 in the Alchemy series, and that is Unfurl by Elodie Hart. Again, social media squirrel fell in love with the cover. Scroll. Did I say squirrel? Scroll. Anyway, Belle. When you've been told your whole life that something is sinful, you have 2 options. Avoid it like the plague, like it has the power to destroy all that is good and pure, or become as fixated upon it as Eve was upon that apple. I'm sick of the push-pull of terror and temptation. It's tearing me apart. I just want a bite of the apple. More than a bite. I want to devour it. Devour it. Have its juices spill from my lips. And by apple, I of course mean sex. This one I think is the first book in a series that I got probably from like a book box, like the second or third or something like that book in a series. That's what I'm thinking was the case for this one. Either that or it was another social media scroll and I liked the cover. So this one is Perfect Villan by J.L. Beck and S. Rena. The second our eyes connected, I felt the shift in the air. The crackle of fire ignited between us. He was dark, dangerous, and secretive. He came into my life like a storm ripping apart everything I believed in, everything I thought I knew. With his mischievous smirk, stunning looks, and alluring behavior, I should have run as far away from him as I could. But I was stupid. I trapped myself in his web, and thought I was safe with him. Safe in his arms, safe from a past that refused to let go. It turns out Christian Russo was the past I was running from, and my first mistake was ever thinking I could escape him. This next is one that I won from Goodreads. I'm a little confused because it has 2 different release months. So it says this is an ARC that I won. It's an advanced reader's copy or edition. It says on sale March 26, 2024. But then the spine says April of 2024, so I'm not for sure on which it is. So end of April or end of March or sometime in April. And the book I am talking about is The Other Side of Disappearing by Clayborn. Now the synopsis is actually on the inside. It says, Jess Green has spent the last decade raising her younger half-sister Tegan and keeping a shocking secret. Ever since their reckless mother ran off with a boyfriend she'd known only a few months, Jess has been aware that he's the same accomplished con man who was the subject of a wildly popular podcast, The Last Con of Linton, Baltimore. Now 31, Jess didn't bargain on Tegan eventually piecing together the connection for herself. But Tegan plans to do exactly what Jess has always feared, leave their safe, stable home to search for their mother, and she'll be accompanied by the prying podcast host and her watchful, handsome producer, Adam Hawkins. Unwilling to let the sister she'd spent much of her life protecting go it alone, Jess reluctantly joins them. Together, the four make their way across the country, unraveling the mystery of where the couple disappeared and why. But soon, Jess is discovering other things too, like a renewed sense of vulnerability and curiosity, and a willingness to expand beyond the walls she's so carefully built. And in Adam, she finds an unexpected connection she didn't even know was missing. If only she can let go and let him in. So it does sound good. Okay, so this next one is book 1 in the Boundless Players. So it's book 1. So I'm thinking hockey. So think hockey romance. This I got from, I subscribe to the Probably Smut book club. And so I'm not sure how much spice or smut is going to be in this, but it's a special edition specifically for this box. And this is Icebound by Merideth Trapp. May all your dreams be as wild as you. Okay, so this one I had to pull up on Goodreads because there is no synopsis on the back and not on the inside. So I've got to read the synopsis from Goodreads. Rode Tremberley is Nashville's naughtiest hockey player. At least that's what everyone believes after the Tenerife debacle. With a high tattoo that's catnip for women, or with a thigh tattoo that's catnip for women, and a wicked smirk that needs a warning label, everyone flocks to the NHL's resident bad boy. Sure, Rode accidentally set a yacht on fire while bringing a woman to the brink of ecstasy. Alrighty then. But that happened over a decade ago. Now, at 33, Rode's searching for something real. He's ready to get down on one knee for the right person, but he has one rule. No dating anyone under 30. Philomena, or Nina Alistine, has sworn off men who look like fallen angels on skates. The feisty art student is done molding herself to fit someone else's life after her relationship fiasco. At 22, Nina's last semester of college is about her pottery dreams, except when one fateful accident forces Nina into a faux situationship with Nashville's supposed naughtiest. All her curated plans crumble like a fragile sculpture. Rode falls first, and he falls hard. There's only one problem. Rode thinks he's fake dating a 30-year-old doctor. Oh, okay. As secrets get revealed, his biggest temptation quickly becomes off limits. But Nina soon realizes the cross-stitching cat daddy. Oh, that's why it looks like cross-stitch. Okay, he cross-stitches. I love cross-stitching. Anyway, the cross-stitching cat daddy is what the chaos is her soul craves. And Nina's fiery passion might burn hot enough to melt Rode's icy boundaries. I like that there's cross-stitch. I haven't read a book where they cross-stitch or do needlepoint, so I'm excited for that. Next, I'm participating in a readathon in April, and one of the prompts is to read something by Christopher Pike. So I got Chain Letter. I tried to read this when I was young. This came out in 1986, I believe, and I was reading Fear Street, loved the Fear Street books by R.L. Stine, tried to get into Christopher Pike, specifically this book, Chain Letter, but it scared me, and I never finished it, so I'm going to pick it up and finish it. Start over, because I don't remember anything about it. I think I only made it I don't even remember how far I made it in, the first couple of chapters, maybe not even halfway. I don't know. When Allison first read the chain letter signed Your Caretaker, she thought it was some terrible sick joke. Someone, somewhere, knew about that awful night when she and 6 other friends committed an unthinkable crime in the desolate California desert. And now that person was determined to make them pay for it. One by one, the chain letter was coming to each of them, demanding dangerous, impossible deeds, threatening violence if the demands were not met. No one out of the 7 wanted to believe that this nightmare was really happening to them, until the accident started happening, and the dying. And this next one I got because it's an auto by author, and that's Donna Ashcroft. This one is Christmas Secrets in the Scottish Highlands. 30-year-old Holiday Harrison is throwing herself into the festive season to give her life some purpose after losing her husband 3 years ago. Working at Christmas Resort, an all-year-round holiday village with its sparkling lights and community of quirky characters is the warm environment she needs right now, but everything is about to change. The future of the magical place and Holiday's new life are put at risk when handsome businessman Damon McAndrew arrives to stay in one of the cute log cabins. He's buying the resort, but his serious attitude is completely at odds with the jolly atmosphere around him. So Holiday makes it her mission to show Damien just how magical Christmas time can be, in the hope he will realize Christmas Resort is perfect just as it is. As they bake cookies and take sleigh rides together, Holiday finds herself intrigued by the mysterious and complicated newcomer. The more time she spends with blue-eyed Damon, the more she realizes that beneath his stern exterior, he is also struggling with heartbreak. But when Damon appears to backtrack on a promise, Holiday has to decide if she's ready to trust and love again. I have 2 more books to show you. I completely forgot about these ones. One I've just barely started. I've only read the first chapter. And that is Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. I'm sure I said that wrong. I'm sorry. So, Homecoming. Ghana, 18th century. 2 half-sisters are born into different villages, each unaware of the other. One will marry an Englishman and lead a life of comfort in the palatial rooms of the Cape Coast castle. The other will be captured in a raid of her village, imprisoned in the very same castle, and sold into slavery. Homegoing follows the parallel paths of these sisters and their descendants through 8 generations, from the Gold Coast to the plantations of Mississippi, from the American Civil War to Jazz Age Harlem. This extraordinary novel illuminates slavery's troubled legacy both for those who were taken and those who stayed, and shows how the memory of captivity has been inscribed on the soul of our nation. So, there you go. And this next book I needed for a readathon, a friend recommendation, so I reached out to a friend and she recommended The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, so I got a copy of this. I am a little nervous. I read 2 books by Neil Gaiman. I read Coraline. I think the movie is better than the book. And then there was another one that I read, and I don't remember the title of it. And it was okay. It was fine. So I'm kind of nervous about this one. I'm intimidated is the word I'm looking for. It takes a graveyard to raise a child. Nobody Owens, known as Bod, is a normal boy. He would be completely normal if he didn't live in a graveyard, being raised by ghosts with the guardian, who belongs to neither the world of the living nor the dead. There are adventures in the graveyard for a boy, an ancient indigo man, a gateway to the abandoned city of ghouls, the strange and terrible Slayer, I don't know. But if Bod leaves the graveyard, he will be in danger from the man Jack, who has already killed Bod's family. Is it Bod or Bod? I don't know. If you read this and know which way it goes, let me know. But yeah, so The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. This one does sound good. I am intrigued by the synopsis, but I am intimidated because this will be my 3rd time trying Neil Gaiman. Again, Coraline, I think the movie is better. Wasn't Coraline, is that a Tim Burton? Coraline film from 2009. No. Directed by Henry Selick. Okay. But it's the darker type of movies that I generally like. So, yeah. A little nervous, but again, this sounds like I will enjoy it more than Coraline, and I'm hoping I like it better than the other one that I read, which was, again, fine. So, anyway, so yeah, those are the books that I have hauled for the month of March. Let me know, have you read any of these books? Have you read other books from any of these authors? Is there a book in here that you think I should prioritize? Let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I'll talk to you later.